Hi, I am Lucy. I'm occupying Owens Park Tower and I'm from 9K for what? And so after months and months of protesting and not getting listened to, not making any headway, it's like, okay, we've got to do an occupation. Not just for us, obviously, but for all the students in Manchester, but also around the country who've been going through so much over the last few months. We want a meeting with Nancy Rothwell, with university management. I don't think this is too big an ask. We've been asking for this for months now, and they've just not made any effort, or they've completely ignored us. So a sit-down meeting where we're listened to and heard would be absolutely fantastic. We're also asking for no action taken against UOM rent strikers. That's everyone in halls who is, withholding their rent, and no action against occupiers like myself and like the other people I'm in here with. We want no redundancies throughout the rest of the pandemic. I think that we all think it's crucial that students and staff stand in solidarity together, because if students are being treated staff probably are not being treated very well either, and staff and lecturers and that, they uphold the university, and even like not lecturers, even cleaners who have been forced to clean COVID positive flats with no PPE, even we need to stand in solidarity with them. We also want, finally, I think, is no penalties for early release contacts, for people who want to leave halls early. We didn't want to have to do this. We've just been pushed to this. We've been protesting for months now about the treatment by the university of its students and even its staff as well. We've had, countless protests over, firstly, the lack of support for COVID positive students. Like, people who tested positive in university halls were told to just put a mask on and go to Sainsbury's, or they didn't get food until they'd been isolating already for 2 weeks. So it was the last day of their isolation, they finally got given food, and stuff like that. The lack of mental health support, the fences that everyone saw got teared down almost immediately. It's just been failure after failure by the university, and also a complete reluctance and refusal even to just stand back up what they've done, own up to it, say even why they've done it. So Nancy Rothwell, who's our Vice Chancellor, she's got all this important titles, Dame Professor Nancy Rothwell. She didn't know why the fence had gone up, she didn't know who'd put them up, and she couldn't explain to us who'd done it or why'd done it, or how they were going to take them down, or what they were actually for. So it's just this complete refusal to own up to what's happened, and also a complete refusal to acknowledge that students have actually been through quite a lot at the hands of the university and also at the hands of the government. So we had, I think, 3 or 4 riot vans show up outside the university halls, parked up in Fallowfield in a residential area, probably not making anyone feel any safer. But we had what seemed like dozens of policemen roaming around the campus, and even though people were inside, there was shoving people back in their flats who had just gone for a run or just doing laundry, being really, really aggressive. I think they confiscated Safers, the organisers' PA system, and were really overly aggressive to one of their organisers, the only black organiser they had. Apparently they were really, really aggressive to, which doesn't surprise anyone. So yeah, it was just what happened last night was, in my eyes, it was utterly unforgivable. The university calling the police on its own students for doing an indoor virtual protest by just making a bit of noise. There were police everywhere. There were riot vans outside. What is going on? We're just students, we have a right to feel safe in our own homes, without policemen being overly aggressive, running around filming people and doing all sorts. The riot police, running around filming people, is just unforgivable. And honestly, I think the university should probably issue an apology for that, but I doubt they will. They decided at about 6:30, right before I was meant to go on a People's Assembly live stream, that they were going to cut off our internet. And obviously this put everyone under a lot of stress, because we were thinking, how are we going to get our deadlines in? How are we going to do uni online? How are we going to chat to our parents and stuff? And also, how are the cleaners going to sit in their break room and have something to do? How, this doesn't affect the occupiers, it affects a student who lives here, who can't do her job because she works at the university. And it's going to affect the cleaners who have a right to have a break. So it's not, it's not just us that was inconvenienced by this. So about 24 hours after we got here, the Wi-Fi mysteriously came back on. And then we found out since that's because our local MP, Afzal Khan, sent a strongly worded email, I think, to university management. So thanks for that, Afzal. And that was good to hear, because it's obviously we have support outside who actually want to help us do what we can do. It was shocking. We've had a complete outpouring of solidarity from all over the place. I think we've had some from France, from one of our comrades who's a counter-fire member. We've had some from various universities, like whether it's, unionised workers at those universities or just students. There's a petition going around at the University of Birmingham. Glasgow University Tenants Union sent us some vegan pizzas, and it was a battle getting these in, as one of the security guards tried to wrestle some pizza off one of the occupiers, but we got it in eventually, and we had a nice tea. What else? We've had messages from all sorts of people. We've had like messages from MPs. Obviously, the People's Assembly has been massively supportive. People like Laura Pidcock. I don't know. It's just absolutely insane. I never expected us to get this amount of solidarity. And like in terms of students, we basically always got a various like gaggle of students standing outside the window, like waving at us. And we've had people make cakes for us and, drop off. We just had 90 packets of crisps dropped off, dropping off crisps. We had a card, which was lovely. Like, it's been fantastic. And it's just like, it's nice to have it physically from the Fallowfield community as well as just the students, and also from like so many messages of people saying, oh, good luck, keep doing what you're doing. We're behind you. So it's just, yeah, it's been fantastic. And like, it's helping us keep going and keeping morale high. So yeah, keep them coming. If you're a student at the University of Manchester, well, come and wave. First of all, you don't have to bring us any food, come and have a wave, that would be nice. But also write to Nancy Rothwell, who's the Vice Chancellor, say what a horrible, thing has been happening to students and how angry you are. If you're not a student at the University of Manchester and you're just a student, perhaps get your students' union to write a message or send a message yourself, or like get a gaggle of you, do a petition like happened in Birmingham, something like that. Organise your own rent strike. Hopefully it won't come to you needing an occupation, but if you have to, organise one, and we'll help you with that as well. If you're not a student, if you're just like a normal working person, please just send us messages of solidarity. Get your union branches to send messages of solidarity. Write to Nancy Rothwell, write to the University of Manchester management, condemning their actions and supporting us, because I know that a few branches of various unions, including Unison, have done that so far, and I'm sure, and that's how we get to her, to them, not just Nancy, but to university management in general.